Hey guys, welcome to today's podcast. And I've got a special guest for you today, Idan, coming out of California. And he is an entrepreneur. He's the founder and CEO of 911 Restoration, which is a disaster restoration franchise. It's one of the top franchises in the US, ranked by Entrepreneur, and one of the fastest growing franchises. And one of Idan's goals is to share his message and to the younger audience who are listening to podcasts and consuming content through podcasts. So he's really happy to give him the platform and welcome to him to the show. So Idan, welcome.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, what's interesting is you've shifted your marketing focus and talk about your story, how you got started and what you do. And I'm excited to dive into 911 restoration.
Yeah. So 60 seconds, as you hear my accent, I'm originally from Israel, right? Grew up in a small farm, um, served in the Israeli army, finished my service, worked as a bellboy and a gardener, saved $1,000. I saved $1,000. And I came to America, heard that every house comes with a pool, money grows on the trees, the American dream, right? Landed here, not really speaking the language, not really knowing anybody. Found my way through just finding the first opportunity. And my first opportunity was somebody was nice enough and it gave me an opportunity to start cleaning carpet for his company. So I cleaned carpet for about a year, got a Volvo 1978 for about $500-600. He gave me the carpet cleaning machine. We rented an apartment with the 5-6 other guys and just clean carpet. That helped me a lot because I learned more about the culture. I started to get better in speaking English and on. Through the carpet cleaning, I found out about the restoration industry, water, mold, and fire damage restoration. Understand how we can work with insurance company, the lead generation part, and on. About $250,000 in sales through carpet cleaning and doing some restoration work. And then one night I'm out for dinner and I'm hearing two guys speaking about Google AdWords. And that was around 2003 when all of us just advertised in magazine and yellow pages and on. And same night I went back home and okay, I need to figure out this Google thing. It sounds very interesting. Spent a few hours on Google, figure out how to put my first ad on Google. Then I think it cost about 25 cents to 99 cents. Today is about $300 a click. Put my first ad, put my cell phone on the ad. And a day after in the morning, I got my first call. And then every day after that, I got a phone call. So I'm like, okay, that's the next big thing, right? That was 2003. Grew the company from 250 to about 3 million and then keep growing the company pretty fast. And then Katrina happened, the end of 2005. At that point, I'm now about 2 years in the business, almost 3 years in the business. I went out there, I have a big truck, a lot of equipment. And first of all, it was a devastation to see what people went through. The second part of it is I met so many other restoration companies because there was so much work for everybody. We didn't really compete with each other. So everybody just shared a lot of information. Everybody was very open with everybody. And what I learned there is that I'm very new to the business and I'm very new to the country. And my business already doing north of 3.5 and keep growing the business. And most of the business owners are doing anywhere around 3 to 600,000. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? What is it that I'm figure out that they didn't figure out? And then what I learned is as I spend more time, great guys, they're very passionate about the blowers, the humidifiers, how to work with the insurance company, how to set up the van while I'm talking about sales and strategy and growth and scalability. I'm like, okay, great guys. I need to figure out a way to work with them because I know how to generate leads. So because I'm doing it through online efforts, I can generate leads anywhere. So I start building this relationship with some of the guys and I'm saying, listen, you guys can teach me about the trade. I'm going to support you in how to grow your business. So I start with 1 and then 5. And then at one point I had 10 relationships that I built. And at that point, my lawyer came to me and says, listen, you're becoming a franchise. You cannot keep doing the license agreement anymore. Okay, what is a franchise? And then I jump into the franchise route and fast forward to today, we have more than 120 owners. We're covering about 300 territories and growing. Yeah. This is a quick story how we got to that restoration.
Yeah, so much to unpack there. And Really inspiring. I really love I love sharing your early stories, especially with the Google ads. And so it sounds like at each point of the way you had leverage and scale. The first one was digital marketing, and then the second is franchise. Yeah. After spending 10,000 hours plus mastering digital marketing, what key lessons can you share with entrepreneurs looking to leverage online strategies in today's environment? Most people are on social media, but now there's podcasting. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. So for me, it took me time to learn it. But as much as I understand who is my customer, because everything will change. So before it was Google AdWords and then social media and now podcasting, and it's going to, there's new tools will come in. Then we're going to ride different waves. But I always went back to, okay, who is my customer? How my customers interact with companies like me? And can I really understand the buying cycle and really understand what is on my customer mind when he's going through something to the point that he needs my services? So we got to the point that we had boards in our office and I used to sketch my customer, right? So 40 years old mom, 3 kids, we gave name to the kids. We were like, what is our hobbies, what she does, probably where she works and everything. And at what moment in her day and in her life she gonna need our type of services, and where do we have an opportunities to engage with her before emergency service needs. Now, it's very difficult for emergency services because it's something that people don't really want. They don't really think about. I don't wake up and think about, oh, what I'm going to do when one day my house will be flooded. I'm trying not to, I don't want to think about it, right? I'm hoping that it's never going to happen to me. So it's very challenging because we have a very unique opportunities to be there when they need us the most, when actually something happens. So that was always my focus. Who is my customer? What is their world? Really understanding them. And the second part was always the customer experience, right? How can I, from the moment that she need or he need my services, where is it that we're interacting? And how can I create a very unique and powerful experience through the interaction? Right? And of course, following up, we provide great services. So for me, it was not so much about what is the tool. Of course, we need to understand the tools and all the opportunities that we have, if it's Google AdWords or anything else. But it's really coming back to there is a human on the other side. That my goal is to add value to that human. We want to service him, right? We want to make sure that we're doing it right. And here is the list of different opportunities, different tools that I have to engage with them. So that way we are not stuck to just one tool. Make sense?
Yeah, I really love that. I think what I remember who described what you're describing, but I remember they were talking about, I think it was either Zappos or one of those, what Airbnb, those two. And they were talking about exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, from point A to point B, what is the customer experience? What is their journey? How can you interact with them? What are the opportunities that you can add value, that you can solve friction points, make things more efficient or cheaper or less
Yeah.
time consuming, and how can you step in and capitalize this can what's interesting is this can be for any company. Yeah. So
It's where business owners starting to have a more of a long-term thinking about their business.
yeah.
That's where I see the biggest difference. When a lot of people going into business and they only think about what can I do right now? I need to make money right now. That's really get you to be in a very reactive mindset. Oh, it's the opportunity here. Oh, the opportunity there. Oh, I need to do it that right now. So they keep going side to side and they're not really moving forward. They're just busy being busy.
Mm,
But when you work with a business owner that have a long-term thinking and think, okay, what I'm going to do over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years,
mhm.
right? And then start to break it down. That way you make sure that you're testing different tools, but we keep moving forward and your North Star is the customer,
Yeah.
not just the reactiveness of, oh, I need to make money right now. So it needs to be a good integration of both of them.
Yeah. And I really love how you position yourself, because you were talking about Hurricane Katrina, very unfortunate for the city, and with especially with climate change, and a lot of coastal cities like here in Houston get the power was shut off for like weeks on
Yeah.
end. It's a really
Yeah. Seeing it every day.
yeah. So then What's interesting is because you talk about longevity and you're talking, what mental shifts are essential for you to move from working in the business and what you call making money versus being a business leader, and what key shifts?
The moment that I, so when you understand that as a business owner, you are the bottleneck of the business. And then you're saying, and that was exactly in my experience. Okay, I see that the business can grow and I see how I'm being the bottleneck of the business because how I'm expecting the business to grow and evolve when I'm, as the business owner, as the CEO of the business, are not growing and evolving, right? So that is the first insight. Okay, for things to get better in scalability and growth and everything, I need to grow. I need to be able to support or be open enough to build the right team around me. So that is the first insight. And then the second part was, okay, so what is really my strength and weaknesses? And do I really spend my time in the business working on my strength, or I'm just wasting a lot of time trying to improve my weaknesses? That's really the base of understanding. Okay, if the business want to shift, if my confidence is built on my ability to organize the truck very well, if my confidence is built based on my ability to cut the drywall and set up equipment and do Xactimate, and this is what I want to do all day long because this is what makes me feel comfortable and productive, how do I expect the business to grow? Or I'm going to bring somebody else that will grow the business and I'm going to stay where I am and I'm going to do Xactimate and do the right work and cut walls. Or I'm going to be able to say, hold on, I want to take the business now to the next level. If I'm spending my time working in the field, I'm not going to be able to support the growth. And if I want to move now and support the growth of the business, what's my strength? Right? Because there's people that are great in operation and terrible in sales. They just immediately will go and they will be amazing in operation. It's like innate. It's easy for them to get better in operation, right? So taking somebody that is great in operation, moving him to sales, now you're wasting a lot of time and energy because I need to take somebody that is really good in operation, thinks in a different way, and now I need to move him into the other side of the business. This is a waste of energy and time. Let me set up myself and my team based on strength and based on what they're passionate about. And of course, there's accountability and structure and everything else in the business. But that really was my biggest, even when we started. So as I described before, when we averaged about $250,000 a year, I worked in the van, I cleaned carpet, I did the water damage, I had a tech with me. This is what I used to do, right? But then when we grew the business to over $3 million, now I have a team of 25 people. So how do I communicate with the team? How do I keep the culture? How do I make sure that the culture really bleeds through my team to my customer? If I stayed in the van and just drove around and did work, and that's what a lot of big businesses are failing to see. They're trying to grow the business without changing their mindset or moving themselves into a different position based on their strength. So they will grow from 250 to 1 million, then will shrink back to 500,000. So the point, first of all, it was that understanding of I cannot keep doing the same thing. I have to evolve, and I have to evolve faster than the business because I don't want to stop the business from growth. But then really understanding strengths and weaknesses. It says, okay, I'm really creative. I can be great in sales. I can see the vision, and I have a very good strategic thinking. Okay, if I'm going to spend more of my time doing that with the team, how much will that help me grow the business? Compare me spending time driving around in the van and doing the work. Okay, now I can see the value. So based on the value that I'm adding, now I can say, I'm going to be able to afford now 10 people that will drive around in the van, right? So the same thinking will keep going through different growth path of the business. And look, so I'm not the CEO of the business anymore. I moved to the founder position about 2 years ago because also I felt like the business grew to a certain level that it needs a different CEO in the business, right? So it wasn't about my ego of I'm the CEO or not the CEO. It's about the growth of the entire organization. We have over 1,000 people now in the organization. So it will not going to be fair on my side to say, no, I have to stay the CEO, because then I'm becoming again the bottleneck of the business. And then I'm stopping everybody else's opportunity to grow within the business. So the same thinking is just different levels, but really being aware enough and objecting enough to say, okay, here I'm stopping the growth of the business. So I'm going to move aside, or I'm going to go through some evolution, my own evolution, and start really working on my strength to see if I can add more value here.
Yeah. Very powerful. And I think what you're referencing, I think Tony Robbins in his business mastery events, he talks about the business owner or being the number one chokehold. And basically it's counterintuitive. What you described is step out of the way and and it's so counterintuitive because you think, oh, I got to work harder in my business. And what you're actually doing is spinning your wheels.
Exactly. This idea of just working harder and harder is just not, you're exactly, as you said it, you're just banging your head against the wall again and again. It's not about working harder. It's really not. And I heard it before many times before I really understand it. And I went through my own experience and I'm like, what are they talking about? Of course I need to work harder. We need to push harder. But yeah, when you're just pushing harder and you feel these anxieties and fear and all that, you're just out of alignment.
Yeah.
You're just really trying to do something that will get you exhausted, will kill the momentum of the business. It's going to be very hard for you to keep good talent around you because you're just killing the business.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of one of my good friends from college. He was like, because everybody was talking about real estate, and he was like, yeah, because that's where they thought the money was, like real estate. And he kept just banging his head on the wall. He kept getting his places flooded and all this disaster. And he was actually better at like software engineer. So he let all that go. He just let it go. And that's counterintuitive. And he started building his software engineering business company, and it like grew and scaled just so quickly because what you were
There you
talking.
go. There you go.
People wanted to find out more about you. I really love these key mindset shifts and the way you how can people find you and follow you and learn more about franchising? Because I know you're trying to reach a younger audience.
Yeah. So best place to learn about the franchise opportunity is 901restorationfranchise.com. And we also post a lot of things to the blog, and we talk about small business and opportunities in the home. I think I see it every day. There is a real opportunity for younger generation in the home service space. There's a lot of older people that are getting out of the market. And I know for a lot of the younger generation, it's not as cool, right? People want to be in Instagram and they want to be influencers, and there's all technology and everything, but it's real business. You're meeting face to face your clients. I know people that in general in the home service that within a year or two, they're generating income for themselves anywhere between 250 to 350K a year. That's good income. It's real income, real business. You're helping real people. So there's something beautiful about it. And coming in with the new mindset of adopting new technologies and tools and stuff like that, it's something that comes so easily for them compared to the 65 years old that now we need to figure out how to use LinkedIn and Instagram and other technologies. So we see a big difference. Yeah. And I do post also a lot of things on LinkedIn. So just go, my name is unique enough, right? So Idan Shpizear. So if you just post my name, I'm on LinkedIn, the franchise site. I'm keep sharing more things. I really think there's a beautiful opportunity for young generation to come into the home service space.
Yeah. Really fantastic conversation. I really enjoyed this, and I encourage the audience to check out Idan's socials, give him a follow, and check out his 9/11 restoration. And thanks so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's fun.